Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. We have a list of 33 properties, and I actually started a juice cleanse today. So in this jug is lemon juice, high-grade maple syrup, and cayenne pepper, and I'm supposed to survive on that for a week. So we're going to see how that goes. But I did it a few years ago for 8 days and felt fantastic. My wife said my skin looked great. And it's just time to kind of, cleanse a little bit in the body. So anyway, we're up in the air today. So I'm going on a flight with Councillor Colin Best. We're doing our flight over Milton. I believe this will be number 6. And we'll publish that and send it out to you. Here's what I noticed. Every Monday I kind of look and say, okay, what's going on with the market? And I send an email out to anybody who is subscribed to the Milton Price Report. And you can get a copy of that if you go to miltonpricereport.com. Just leave your information. And I do these weekly kind of discussions and, put some links to properties and all that kind of stuff. But here's the thing. So this year, properties have they've been selling at about 75 to 80% ratio. So the number of listings compared to the number of sales, that's what it's been. So about 3/4 to 4/5 of the homes that have listed have ended up selling. And in the last week, we've had 209 listings come on the market, and we have had 60-something sales. So that's basically a 40% ratio, which is half the speed that it was almost the whole year. So there's definitely been a shift. There's been, in some cases, there's certain property types and styles where there's more townhouses, there's more double garages, just that segment of the market than there were the entire inventory list in February. So it's, like I said before last week, we've got to be really careful with pricing. And if your home, and don't take this the wrong way, but if your home doesn't have a really unique feature, like it doesn't have green space or a pie-shaped lot or like really good finishes, if your home is just kind of a solid 7.5 out of 10, you're going to have a tough time if you list. It's just the way it's happening because buyers by nature are going to spread themselves out to their options. When there was only one pair of pants in the store, as it was earlier this year, everybody flocks to that. But now there's the equivalent of 20 pairs of pants. So the buyers are now spread out. I don't know why I use the pants example around houses, but I always have. Okay, let's talk about some homes. So I really think this one at Costigan is a good deal, $475, and it's a com-free. We've talked about in previous episodes, it's a different experience than having a physical agent there. Your offers are handled by a call center. The last time I dealt with that call center, I was actually very impressed with the lady who was orchestrating the whole process, but it's very much arm's length. It's a weird kind of process versus going to the house, negotiating. Anyway, over 1,000 square feet in here. Not a lot of amenities in the building, but this unit I think looks good. The last sale was like $440 on a higher floor. It looked like similar finishes, similar layout to me, but it's a good solid floor plan. It faces a good direction, and we've seen some big condo sales here and over at Maple Crossing. 2 underground parking spaces. The one thing about this building, they forgot to put garbage chutes in, so you could take your garbage with you when you go down to the parking garage. But most people don't know that until they actually move in. But I could easily see this one being worth in excess of what it's listed for sure. So this could be a good opportunity. 766 Johnson Heights, 519. So going back to this whole thing about competition, well, let's talk about this first. So the home is 1,275 square feet. It's a Bolton model. Nice finishes, clean, tidy. And so they were at like 589, and now they're down to 519. Usually if you're not selling at the 589 number, I mean, homes like this are selling this year, like in 2017, for 620, 630, 640. So the solution is you either put it back up at that number, you go, okay, I think it's worth this. Now we go back to the way listings used to be, which is bring me an offer. I'm not trying to get multiple offers. Maybe we negotiate a bit and off we are. Now, the other thing you can do is you can go down further, but the problem that I see with that is now you're even further from your goal price. So now you're potentially 100,000 less than where you want to be. And with more listings out, are the buyers going to spread themselves out? Are you going to be able to orchestrate 5 or 10 offers on something like this on offer night, which is typically what's required to get it going the other way? It's interesting because there's a lot of people who have forgotten the basic, the way it used to be a few years ago. It's funny how quick that stuff disappears, but I tend to lean more towards fair pricing in a balanced market like this. At 40% listings to sales, that is by definition a balanced market. Between 20 and 40% is balanced. Less than 20% is a buyer's market, and you can be sure I'm going to pay close attention to that number in the next week or two. Now, here's what I'm talking about with underlisted. This one's underlisted to a McKay Crescent. I could easily see the first number being a 7 based on what else has happened in the market. $599 is the price, but what they have is they have a move-in ready house. They've decorated well, so the appearance of the home is great, and it almost has its own market, because if you look at what's outside, that should have been finished, by the way. I think for the cost to do something like that, it makes sense to do. There it is right there. Green space and a pie-shaped lot. Fantastic stuff. That's what's going to drive this one up, because buyers are going to look and say, okay, I could buy, one of 60 townhouses, but I can't buy something with that. Unique features really matter in changing markets. This one on McDuff is taking offers next Tuesday, so 768.8. Pretty much anything detached double car garage or single car garage is going around the 800 or plus mark. This model is 1740 square feet. It's called a Pilgrim model, and it's nice surroundings, great area. Large front porch. Now this area is, the builders have defined it as a living dining. Some people use this as a living room, and then what they do is they kind of flip the script, and then this becomes the dining room, or they do family and then they do living dining on the other side. But the one thing you may not be able to tell from the pictures is the kitchen doesn't really have enough space for an eat-in. There's a door right on this side here. It's not big enough for a table here, especially when they did the pantry. So there's a kind of enough space for a breakfast table if you don't have this. That also looks like the cabinets are painted. I don't know how good that looks in person or not. And my photos look like they are frozen. No finished basement. Looks like a low maintenance backyard. This one in pricing a month ago, I'd say for sure they'd get this. Now, I really don't know. I think having the 4 bedrooms helps because it opens your audience up a little bit. Okay, so next up is Sydney Street, 868. Says 2-story. It looks like a bungalow from the outside, but it has a 60 by 132 foot lot. It's on a great little street. I mean, I can't even remember the last time we saw a property on Sydney Street. They just don't come up very much. Oversized double car garage, and I'd be curious to see if there's any sort of room up here. Could you do an office, or could you do kind of a whiskey and cigar smoking room up there? I have no idea. But the home's been renovated, and we've seen bungalows in this area with less features. Again, different market, but go for this price or higher. So I think they chose the right price. That must be the area above the garage, which is very, very awesome. So a home gym. Imagine like a personal trainer that bought this home. They could do their workouts and so on in the back. That is very, very cool and very handy, and I like this one. I'm going to give it pick of the day. So the last two, Robertson 877 777. It's a fantastic street. I was in this home on the weekend, and there's some okay features in here. You know, like it feels like a lot of the areas, like they did kind of the low cost, high return, and I don't blame them for that. But it's just you gotta kind of play that fine line because it can look that way. But again, they've done enough things in here that I think they're going to find at least a couple buyers. Talking about scarcity in the market, this area like Timberley, Bronte Meadows, you'll see there's another one in this list too on Sire, but typically there's one listing in Old Milton for every 10 listings in the new areas. So there's almost built-in. The floor here actually is really nice, by the way. There's built-in scarcity from just being on a street like this. This is the kind of street, this one, Clements, Gowland, a couple other streets in Timberley where people really, really want to live and they wait for homes on these streets. Sire doesn't have quite the same sort of level appeal, but it's still very nice streets. 886.9, and so you're a side split. The kitchen has been renovated, but it's small. That would be my concern with people looking. People want a big, expansive kitchen now. It does kind of open up to the family room, so you could maybe keep the eyes on the kids while they're watching television or hanging out. Finished basement and a pool in the back, too. So those classic Timberley things that people want. They want a detached home, double-car garage, pool in some cases, a long driveway. So this one fits a lot of those bills, and the side splits are surprisingly big. This one says more than 2,000 square feet, and which, even though it doesn't look like it, is probably similar to the size on Robertson. Seeing as our theme is scarcity, we haven't seen, actually we've seen a few this year, but prior to that, very difficult to find, bungalow with a loft and backing onto green space. That ticks a lot of boxes for people who are downsizing, but then it begs the question, if you're at 1.1 million, how much downsizing can you do? I mean, you've got to be pretty much in a $2 million house for it to make sense to downsize to something like this. So I know there's demand for it, but the thing about this is it's not like there's 100 buyers that are interested. There's like 3 that really, can go at something like this. So it's nice. It's a Heathwood home and well built in general. There's a problem with windows, a couple other things. But overall, these homes are known to be some of the better homes in town. Okay, so there we go. That's the list. And if you have any questions, let us know. And definitely check out the Milton Price Report at miltonpricereport.com. We'll see you later.